All right, good afternoon. It is October 8th, 2021, and today we had a range day, but that started to change. What time would that be? I guess this started around, oh wow, pretty early in the morning. You could tell that there was a downward bias to this. I don't think you would have found this trend line until right about here, which is about 9:45 or so, maybe 10 o'clock, this downward trend line. But yeah, it was a range day. There was a lot of decent entries. They all felt aggressive. I'll change these colors if I determine that they are not that aggressive. But also let me change this so I can show you the trades I took. Hidden. Okay. So right away, if you guys were watching, there was some news item that caused this spike up, spike down, this craziness right here. But look at this, like, what would that be? Probably a 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably, I don't know if it would test it again here. It looks like it did though. 5th, 6th test. This looked like a range pretty clearly, so if you see that, you might go long above that, but that's way too early anyway. So where does 5 o'clock come in? 5 o'clock comes in like right about here, and we're just forming some congestion. You might have went long right here. I feel like I might have done that. Oh, no, okay. So anyway, 5 o'clock comes in, we get this craziness. Look, we matched. I'm pretty sure we... How come this isn't working? Oh, okay, I was pressing the wrong thing. Okay, no, I thought we tested this again right here, but we didn't. So, but once we get this craziness, and this clearly looks like a range, you get this higher low. I took that. Unfortunately, I just wasn't fully in the game, and I would have moved my runner, but I didn't move my runner. So, and my stop got triggered to break even, and then once it got moved to break even, usually lately I've been moving it back to try and get a runner after the scalp, but I didn't do that and I got stopped out, and that would have been like I think like an 8-point runner or something. Let's see, 94.75, yeah, almost something like that. 8 points, 9 points maybe. And you might have gotten all of it because that's a new high, and this is clearly way overbought. So you might have just taken that whole move. But anyway, we get a bounce back, and I meant to mark this. I really like that too. And so you would have gotten another runner, and you could have been done before 6 a.m. today. Right here, I actually went long here, and you only get a matching low, so it's not a new low. So this is kind of against the rules, but I really liked it. It was spending time down here. You could tell it was it opened here, tried to make a nice bearish bar to trap people, but then it closed on its high. And look at this clear, like we're clearly ranging. So you get a nice move out of that too. And here, this is just a lower high in congestion. And then this is all just too congestive. Unfortunately, we can't enter in this and get this move. But then here you get a higher low again. So you might take that. And then right here, this is a second entry short, and normally you're not thinking about that, but this does look like a level of resistance. And by that time, that's when I was like, okay, this has a downward bias to it. Can't enter here, can't enter anywhere in here because you're going into the lows. This looks like a failed second entry long right here, but it's just we're going into the lows, and this has clearly been ranging. So we make this like triple bottom right here, or triple test. You get a higher low, boom. Here we come back, test it. You might want to go long there too, and then prices try and go higher. They test the opening price, and that's what I believe that's what this congestion is prices were trying to go higher and they just couldn't make it, and There might be a couple aggressive entries in here, but this is just too congestive. Like this one, lower high. Especially since we broke up into this congestion, you don't know if we're going to test prices up here. This one, lower high. This one looks like, oh yeah, no, you would have gotten targets hit, but okay, so why did I mark this one? This was another, okay, so this, look at this. Look at how many times we tested that exact price level. And that's like a triple bottom too. So with this bar, this huge bullish bar, I like to think that this is going back to the EMA and maybe even more. So then you get a higher low if you didn't jump in there, and then you get a failed second entry short if you didn't jump in there. And I jumped in on the higher low, but unfortunately we hit this level of congestion and price get rejected, and then they go exactly where you wanted it to go because my target was up here, but that's okay. You can see that we make a couple measured legs, and you get a first entry, second entry short. You might take that. Then you get a lower high. I'll delete this, but that looks like a trend channel to me. And then you get a failed second entry long. You're really not looking. Oh, that's why I had that channel up though, is because that was off the channel. But I don't think we still should be playing this like congestion, even though that was off the channel. And then this is really when you start to think like, okay, this thing's going lower. And especially if you look at that daily chart that Mack always posts, this is off that. This is all making sense. So you know this. I bet there's people who went short here on this second entry short, so I think I should mark that. But only problem is you're going into the lows, and we're not too sure. That doesn't look like it's off a trend line. But there are reasons to go short there. We get this double test down here, like a double bottom. You might go long there because, you know, this could very well be a failed breakout. This is the first time it broke out, really. I mean, I had my range drawn like this, but some people probably had it drawn like this. And look at that. It's right off that price level. So that's definitely a valid there are reasons to take that trade. So we bounce, we come to the top of that channel, make a lower high, another lower high, that's a failure. And if you don't like entering there, you get a lower high right here. And you could have gotten like an 8-point runner right there. And if you are still looking for longs, you get a first failed second entry short right here. Especially if you have your lows, which I don't know why I didn't have my lows, because that's clearly the overnight lows. And usually that's where I draw them. You would definitely take that. I would definitely take that. I would take this too. So that's why I like to draw mine at the overnight lows. Only thing is you might be worried because you're going into that trend channel right there. So I could understand if you're worried about that. But then, so I was drawing this trend channel, and so originally I was thinking I had my midline drawn off these two highs right here, but eventually we learned that it was actually like this. And so you get all this, you break down into this congestion, you get a breakout, it fails, and it comes back in. But when you get this lower high, so here's a lower high and here's a third lower high, I think you can go short there. And that turns out to be a great runner. You could get like 12-point runner off of that. And there are some trades in here, but that's too late in the day. So that's what I saw. I've been playing with those runners a lot, and I really like it. So let's take a look at the two entries, and maybe I'll go over, yeah, I have time, so I'll go over the other entries I took on the practice. So yeah, here you get a great higher low, and this is, yeah, it's aggressive because it's just a first entry. but we're so clearly coming from these lows, and you can see this consistency, so I think that's okay to take that. This is very aggressive. You know, I can't mark it with an arrow because it's not against it's against the rules, but if there's so many things that you can't see at the end of the day. You have to be watching them live to see it. And this bar was really trying to go lower, and it failed. So that's where I entered. So yes, it's aggressive, but I'm okay with it. Now I'll show my practice trades. This is just a terrible decision. On a range day, I'm looking at this as a first failed second entry. That's not off the trend line, so I got stopped out there. I went short here on this lower high, but that's very congestive. I would say don't do that. This, I'm okay with this, high or low, towards the bottom of congestion, or I mean of the range. I'm definitely okay with that. Why did I go long here? First, I think I looked at this as a failed second entry short, but and it looks like it's off the trend line, so that's a really nice trap. But look, it doesn't make it to the top of the trend channel, so you know that's a sign that we're not going higher. And look at all this congestion over here, so I like avoiding that personally. Let's see what's next. Oh wow, I went long there. Oh, okay. Yeah, and this is like we're coming off the highs, so I should be looking to go short. And then I got a runner here off this lower high. And I think, so here's what I want to say. You get this overshoot, you should be moving your stop below every bar. And that's what I'm thinking on runners, especially since we're expecting a pullback. So I wish I did that, but that's okay. Here I went short thinking this would be like a failure, but that's a first entry. And you don't look for failures in congestion, and at this point it's looking congested. Oh, this one actually worked. Interesting. But then I entered again, but this is clearly congestion. Doji, doji, doji. These are all overlapping. Wait. Just wait. We get this, figure out this is the trend line, make a lower high here, then another lower high with a very bearish signal bar, and that gets you a runner that you could hold all the way till here. And I probably, so look, if I follow those rules that I was thinking, you get a break and a move to a new low. Once you get that break, you should probably be putting it below or above your runner, a tick above each bar, and that would have gotten you like a 12, almost a 12-point runner. So those are the trades I took today. That's what I saw today. I hope everyone has a blessed weekend, and I'll be back on Monday.